Imagine believing you saved the world, only to learn you had handed it over to tyranny. This is not a parable. This is a true story of a man whose peaceful intentions lit the fuse to history's deadliest war. Welcome to Historic Viewpoint, where we explore the forgotten moments that changed everything. Today we examine how a single signature, a single handshake from Neville Chamberlain helped spark World War II. In 1918, the guns of World War I fell silent, but the silence was not peace. It was grief. Europe was bleeding. 16 million dead. Empires collapsed. Economies destroyed. A generation of youth lost. The victors blamed Germany, and at Versailles they made sure it would suffer. The Treaty of Versailles stripped Germany of land, power and dignity, reparations, demilitarization, public shame. A seed of resentment was planted, and from that seed, something darker grew. In beer halls and alleyways, a new voice emerged. A wounded soldier, a failed artist, a man who claimed Germany had been betrayed. His name was Adolf Hitler. He promised strength, revenge, revival. By 1933, amid chaos and poverty, Hitler rose to Chancellor. By 1934, he was Führer, absolute dictator. He rearmed Germany in secret. He burned books, banned opposition, and built death camps behind barbed wire. The world watched, but it had no appetite for another war. Meanwhile, in Britain, a quiet man stepped forward, Neville Chamberlain, soft-spoken, polite, methodical. He had witnessed the horrors of war. His brother had fought, his country had bled, and he was determined there would never be another world war. Not on his watch. In 1937, Chamberlain became Prime Minister. At first, he focused on domestic progress, housing, healthcare, rebuilding. But across the Channel, Hitler had other plans. In 1936, Hitler violated the treaty by sending troops into the Rhineland. No one stopped him. In 1938, he annexed Austria, his homeland, in a shocking event called the Anschluss. Still, no bullets were fired. Then came Czechoslovakia, specifically the Sudetenland, a region filled with ethnic Germans. Hitler claimed it was his right, that Germans were being mistreated, that it was only fair to unite them under the Reich. Europe stood on a knife's edge. Chamberlain, desperate to avoid conflict, flew to Germany. He met with Hitler 3 times, a man he thought could be reasoned with. What followed was the Munich Agreement. Without consulting Czechoslovakia, Britain and France agreed Hitler could take the Sudetenland if he promised peace. "I believe," Chamberlain said proudly, "it is peace for our time." Shift tone to foreshadowing. Crowds in London cheered. But behind closed doors, Winston Churchill warned, "You were given the choice between war and dishonor. You chose dishonor, and you will have war." 6 months later, Hitler invaded the rest of Czechoslovakia. The agreement was dead on arrival.
In August 1939, Hitler signed a secret pact with Stalin, the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. Publicly, it was a non-aggression agreement. Privately, it was a deal to divide Poland. Chamberlain, now growing suspicious, issued a warning. Invasion means war. But Hitler didn't care. On September 1st, 1939, German troops invaded Poland from the west. 2 weeks later, the Soviets invaded from the east.
On September 3rd, Britain declared war. The world was at war again, and this time it would be far worse. Chamberlain was devastated. His strategy had failed. His dreams of peace shattered. He remained Prime Minister for a few more months, then quietly resigned. He died in 1940, heartbroken, humiliated, and forgotten. But Chamberlain was not evil. He was not naive. He was a man trying to spare the world from suffering, and that, perhaps, is the cruelest tragedy of all.
History often remembers villains, but sometimes the road to ruin is paved with good intentions. Appeasement didn't prevent war. It allowed it to fester until it exploded. This is Historic Viewpoint. Subscribe for more powerful moments that changed the world forever. Thank you for watching.